I want to acknowledge the traditional owners on the land on which we meet, the Kaurna people, and thank them for their 60,000 years of continuing care of this country and this great land, Australia, that we stand on. Always was, always will be Aboriginal land. But how good are student climate strikers? I'd hate to borrow a slogan from ScoMo, but today it seems pretty pertinent. This is a wonderful example of collective action. Did you know that strike action is an important function of our ongoing democracy? And students taking strike action today is one of those great examples of solidarity, democracy and collectivism. This is one of the reasons why Scott Morrison wanted you in school today. He didn't want you to see and feel the power of collective spirit. He didn't want you building a movement for change. And he thinks that your voice doesn't matter. Doesn't matter! Doesn't matter! Doesn't matter! Well, I think he heard you then. The power of the collective is important. Trade unions have been fighting for it since the Industrial Revolution. Every social gain that we have in this country and around the world has come from some form of strike action. Every great piece of legislation we have comes from some form of collective strike action. And today will be no different. And can I tell you, strike action is under threat in this country. Right as we speak, there's a bill in front of Parliament called Ensuring Integrity Bill that is designed to strip the power of unions to take strike action, to support students like yourself. Exactly. So strike action was not only used for working conditions but social conditions as well, to fight against impoverished conditions, to fight against unjust wars, to fight imperialism, to fight tyranny, to fight apartheid, to fight for Aboriginal sovereignty. Collective action helped all of those campaigns. And it's this sort of campaign, this sort of strike action that we need to continue to be able to take in this country for a functioning democracy. During the Vietnam War movement, trade unions, social justice organisations and students had a saying, stop work to stop the war. Well, today we should be saying, stop work to stop warming. This is also a long campaign that will take time. And a couple of the other speakers spoke about a just transition. And I want to focus on that a little bit, because all the kids here today are going to rely on these jobs of the future. And we want those jobs to be decent, well-paying union jobs. At the moment, there isn't a just transition. It is a slogan. We need to put action to those words. We need to strike. We need to be pushing this government to make decisions that help workers, that help us transition from heavy coal and fossil fuel industries into climate changing environmental issues. So that's what we need to do, and those jobs are important. But to get there right now, we have a lot of work to do. Current projects are just have companies just profiteering from the labour of cheap backpacker labour, cheap labour hire companies that are building wind turbines in the west. The solar farms out near Carrapateena on the west coast, built with backpacker labour. They're not sustainable, good jobs, and we have to change that if we want sustainable environmental jobs. In my union alone, we're advocating for offshore wind energy and wind turbines, and we're negotiating with companies now, and we realise that if we have good, well-paying jobs in those industries, they will be sustainable. We have a plan for it, but believe me, everyone here, and particularly students, who in the next few years will enter the workforce, join your union, get your union to participate in climate change action, and we will make a difference. So I'll just leave you with this. Students, in the next couple of years, put your hands up if you're here and you'll be 18 in 2022. Put your hand up. Will you have the power to vote in 2022 to change the government, to change the environment, and change this world for the better? Well done.